Hi YouTube, this is Em, and I'm coming at you with my 6-week lock update. And the reason I wanted to make a 6-week lock update is just because I had noticed some significant, well not, I wouldn't say extremely significant changes over the past 2 weeks from my first retwist. So I noticed, I gave myself 5 days after my first retwist before I worked out. So just to give it a little time to set, and in my palm rolling, a little time to set. And so then I dove right into it 5 days later. So I got to do Zumba, which I love, and I went to the class, and of course I wore a do-rag as my loctician recommended and took it off. In the first Zumba class, everything was fine, everything was normal. Then I'm trying to make sure you can see my hair. Then in the second time, I wore a do-rag, and then I took my do-rag off. I noticed after I shook it out, I noticed that I was getting big puffballs, which I didn't expect. I do know, of course, that there should be budding, which I have experienced. I started experiencing a few weeks back, but which will be this. This would be what I consider to be or what I've known or seen to be a typical bud. But I didn't exactly expect the big puffballs. Now, please note that it is still coils at the base. So all the big puffballs have a coil at the base. So I don't know if that was considered a bud or not, but either way, it caused me to have a slight meltdown. So I did end up texting my loctician, asking her like, oh my goodness, I'm getting these huge puffballs. I don't understand what to do or what's going on. I felt like I was taking a step backwards, but she actually reassured me that this is, as long as I'm not trying to like pick at or mess with it too much, either way it will lock it, which I guess in a way I knew, but I just didn't expect them to get that puffy that soon. I thought it was going to be gradual, like some of the other buds I see. Here's another bud example. But it's okay. It's okay. I am learning to work with it. So what I'm realizing now, after I work out, what I'm going to do is I'll have the do-rag on, but then I'll untie the do-rag, take the do-rag off, but then I will leave it matted and just let it do its thing as it air. I'm going to let it air dry. I typically let my hair air dry throughout the week. If I have a workout throughout the week, I only work out usually regularly, maybe twice a week. And then other days I'm outside walking. So I am letting it air dry on some of those days, and sometimes I'll blow dry it too if I need to get it dry faster, if outside isn't drying it fast enough. So I am finding this did work well. It's actually helping it lay down better than it did when I was first experiencing that puffiness. Now that the puffs stay down more, before it was just, I'll try it. If I figure out how to insert pictures, I would try and insert a picture into there so you can see what it looks like at first. I mean, it's still nothing major, but I wanted it to, I don't mind puffiness, but I want it to be a little more uniform in how puffy it was, if that makes sense. So for now, I'm just going to continue with that method. I also have decided that I am going to spray my hair with distilled water to keep it well moisturized, because sometimes, I don't know, I feel like it feels dry and it causes for some straggly hairs to stick together and then it starts sticking to other locks, and then I'm scared that that's going to cause too much of the locks melding together. So for now, that's going to be the plan. I'm going to spritz it with some water, and then about maybe twice a week I'll spray with vitamin E. At first I was spraying with vitamin E, not at first, after my first retwist I was spraying with vitamin E every day pretty much, but I found that was making my hair a bit too soft, which of course would slow down the locking process. I also plan on doing my first big wash. I've done some slight water washing to it, but nothing major. But I've decided that I'm going to do my first Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap hair washing next weekend. So I'll definitely let you know how that goes. I'm not afraid of unraveling anymore if all my constant zooming and stuff like that haven't unraveled my locks. I'm feeling pretty comfortable. So that's the plan so far. I will continue to oil my scalp twice a week. I've also found that I've found ways to kind of work with my crazy days, my crazy hair days, because I have some days where my hair is just giving me way too much attitude, and I'm just like, I can't even deal with you right now, but while loving it, while loving my hair. But I will basically just tie it up in a scarf, so I'll pull it back so a little bit of my front is, for a little front of my hairline is showing. I'll put my scarf on, get my big earrings, and I'm good to go. Which is still very simple and a lot simpler than what I did before, I feel, or back in my perm days or my relaxer days. So this is fantastic, and I'm still loving it. Even when I was doing that puffball thing, I was still glad to know that it was going on the right track. I still knew it was going on the right track. I did freak out a little, which I admit, but that's okay. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about this and learning about my specific hair, which is what I'm realizing very different from other people's. So, and it's fine. But please, I don't want to forget. Please tell me about your experiences. Please, please, please. Please leave them in the comment box. I'd appreciate anything you can share. I did want to give you a 360 of my hair, or my version of a 360. And you can see it's. I definitely want to show you the top part. I'm really tall, so I'm trying to scrunch down right now. It's a little hard. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have. I will let you know how things go. If there's any major changes, I'll be sure to inform you. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching.